Bitcoin is right now breaking above a critical level of resistance, and our Bitcoin trade is absolutely crushing it and is now in more than $370,000 in profit. And yes, only 5 days ago, on this big crash here on Bitcoin, I said that I was scaling more in towards my $5 million Bitcoin long position. I went double down on my position, and now I am yielding the massive profits after, of course, saying this to you guys out there. So we are printing like crazy, not only on Bitcoin, but also on our Ethereum trade. So on today's update video, obviously, I am going to be talking about what exactly happened on Bitcoin, where are we heading towards next. I'm going to be exactly discuss my price targets of this breakout of the bull flag pattern for Bitcoin. I'm going to be talking about the most important charts. And of course, I don't want you to ignore the fact and of course the challenge I had with you guys, because I said this $1 million account, I'm going to flip it all the way in towards $10 million. And now we are very, very close by actually doing this. So, of course, I'm going to give you an update on my trades on how to achieve that $10 million. And guys, don't forget to once again slap all that like button back above 1,000 likes. It will be highly appreciated. And just let me jump straight away in towards today's update video. So first of all, I want you to know this week is probably going to become much more crazy because this week is stacked with a lot of very important activities. Because all week we're going to get, of course, the Federal Reserve speak. We're going to get tomorrow the CPI and core CPI data. And of course, the rest of the week is also going to be very exciting. But of course, I will be talking about it whenever the day is going to come here. So, of course, on all my previous videos, also on the video where I said, okay, this is the reason why I go long on Bitcoin right now here. It was, of course, because we were creating that inverse head and shoulders pattern, but also because Bitcoin always follows its liquidity. And like you can see on the video over here as well, I discussed it. Bitcoin always eventually grabs the liquidity. And yes, that is once again exactly what we have done here. So Bitcoin grabbed the top side liquidity, and now this is something we cannot really look at for to say, okay, Bitcoin is going to go here next year, because there's no major level of liquidity right now buying up here. But as soon as I do see that happening again, of course, guys, I will be mentioning that on the channel, because this is like a 90% accuracy if you're going to be taking a trade here. So a very good way on how to predict where Bitcoin is going to go towards. Bitcoin, of course, broke the downward sloping trend line right here. And this gives me the confirmation, if we can also break above the previous high right here, that we are going to be seeing a way bigger continuation higher. Of course, we are right now seeing also the 12-hour downtrend on Bitcoin getting broken. So Bitcoin is breaking the major downtrend and is right now on the beginning of this next major leg higher. So this is of course looking very good. The price target for this breakout is, in my opinion, around $130,000. And that is why I also will say, on $130,000, I am going to be fully exiting my Bitcoin long trade here. You can see it also here. Take profit, $130,000. If we're going to be hitting that level, guys, I will be looking in about $800,000. And that is, of course, an absolutely insane amount of money from just one trade here. So that is only the Bitcoin trade. And of course, if Bitcoin is hitting that level, I'm going to start to look at what I'm going to be doing with my Ethereum position, because I'm going to talk about Ethereum later in this video and also give you my price targets. But first of all, guys, I want you to know, if you right now want to be joining me with trading, or if you want to be trading yourself here, because if you know what is going to be happening in the market, is one of the best ways to make money right now here. And if you go to the first link in today's video description, guys, you can get a free $1,000 Ethereum trade here. And all you need to do for that is go to the first link in today's video description, sign up an account, confirm KYC, and after that, download the application and log in, and you will get this reward. And also on top of that, guys, if you right now sign up an account using the link below here, you will get a 25% fee rebate, which makes WEX the cheapest exchange to trade on. So if you're looking for a reliable and a good exchange out there, this is definitely the exchange you want to be trading on here. So, of course, I'm going to give you an update on my Ethereum price targets in a second from now on, but I first wanted to tell you that you should not miss out on this insane deposit bonus. So, further on, of course, the Bitcoin breakout is exactly playing out right now here. We exactly bounced from the lower side of support. And of course, these are things I all mentioned while we were exactly trading on these levels of support. So that is why I also want to ask you, to subscribe to the channel right now and smash up that bell notification button right here, because then you will be definitely not miss out on any of these big trades right here, because ultimately we're looking at an inverse and a shoulders pattern. And this is going to be the final leg towards the upside, because if I'm purely looking at timings, I do really think we have about 2 months left here in this Bitcoin bull market. And this is also the period where the most amount of money is made here. And of course, if we're looking also at the M2 money supply, we can see that we're still seeing a massive increasement in global liquidity in the upcoming 2 months here. And only after that, we're seeing a slight little drop here. So of course, we're still going to get a rate cut later in September. So yes, the big moves for Bitcoin are likely still to come here. But of course, I want you to be alert here, because $142, about $130,000 is going to be, in my opinion, the most important level of resistance for Bitcoin of this entire bull market. And why? Is because I've looked at many Fibonacci levels, and this is going to be the resistance to look at. And that is why I also will be taking very aggressive profits on my trade, because obviously, at some point you have to take profit to get to that 10 million, because at some point I also have to look at the short position instead of only these long positions. But of course, talking about Ethereum, I still think Ethereum is going to be running much higher than Bitcoin is doing so right now. We just hit a new 3.5-year high. And what I want you to understand is that always at the later part of the cycle, if I'm going to compare, for example, the total 2 market, and this is something I made a bigger deep dive in towards my private Telegram already, and you can join it, by the way, as well. If you go to the second link in today's video description, guys, you will come to my private group here where I share all these insights. So make sure to join it as well here. But basically, to quickly summarize this here, guys, this is, for example, 2017. And if we're looking at purely the last 2 months here, we went up about 850% for the altcoin market. And that was the most amount of gains, and it all happened in the last 2 months of the cycle. Then, of course, if we're going to be looking at this cycle, we're just entering that last 2-month period. This is always how it happens. Always in the last part of the cycle is where the big gains are realized. So that is why I want to be staying risk on altcoins for at least 1.5 months from now on. And only after that, I can start to consider, okay, now it is getting too risky. Now I want to be taking more aggressive profits. And I know for sure that I won't catch the exact all-time high. I won't catch the exact top here, but I won't be round tripping my bags here. So that is, of course, the strategy I have. I mean, for Ethereum, ultimately, we're looking at this major breakout, and I do think we're not going to run all the way up to $8,000, but I do really think we're going to be running up towards about 5 to 6K here, because 5K is, in my opinion, quite a realistic target for ETH. And personally, I'm still running all my spot positions on Ethereum, and of course, this small little trade right here, because, yeah, this trade is now in $500,000 in profit, but a while ago, if you've been watching the channel, I had a $1.5 million Ethereum position in profit. I closed it and holding that all in spot here, which was about $3 million in spot here. So yeah, that $3 million is already about 4.5. So I'm still holding my Ethereum in spot here, but I'm going to be aggressively exit those positions whenever we will be hitting like the 5 to 6K range here. So yeah, that is my personal strategy for ETH right now here. Guys, you all have to have your own strategy. I mean, one thing is for sure that is happening, and that is that retail investors are not interested, but large scale investors are right now accumulating. So this is a period where you want to be paying attention. So guys, don't forget to check it out in the link description of today's video to sign up an account to WeX. But anyways, this was it for me today's episode of the video. If you did enjoy it, slap that like button, subscribe to the channel, and see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.